can't blame you. They are very, very cute. We got one in front of us with Mama Vindi that's hanging out, having a little big old orange. Hey now. Yeah, we're gonna talk all things babies over here. Yeah, we're gonna talk all things babies as well. But before we get started, we'll do a little bit of an overview with our chimpanzees. So here at the LA Zoo, we have 17 chimpanzees, ranging from our youngest 3 babies, who are about 4.5 months, or just turned 5 months, to our one who's gonna turn 7 months tomorrow. That's that one right in front of you. Her mom's eating the orange right here. Born within a couple months of each other. Yeah, 3 of the 5 grade 8 babies we currently have at the zoo. On the other side of the No, I'll explain what that is again for those who didn't hear what I said earlier in a minute. Our oldest chimpanzee is Regina, who is grandma to the oldest little one. She's 42 years old, but 42 would be considered pretty old if she was in the wild, thanks to the quality of care chimps receive at institutions like the LA Zoo. Chimps have been known to live into their 50s and even beyond that, so 42 not particularly old. Yeah, so we have 10 girls and 7 boys. One of the things I bring up, we have a wide mix of ages, and we have our chimpanzees are all hanging out. If you're wondering what those noises were, those were primarily dominance displays. So chimpanzees, like a lot of great apes, exist in what's called a social hierarchy, where they have more dominant individuals on top, less dominant individuals on bottom. Without even seeing who made all that noise just a second ago, I can almost guarantee that it was one of the younger males. They do have what's called a patriarchy, where you have boys on top, typically, not always, but you definitely see a lot of the big display behaviors tend to be the males, especially the younger males are the ones who do those things like kicking on the door, showing off, that kind of thing. It's just their way of asserting themselves. But how do you tell if it really is a male or a female who's making fighting? I'm telling you right now, it wasn't fighting, not just because I know the chimps and I know what a display behavior is, but also because of how the other chimpanzees reacted. They did not particularly care about all that noise that was happening, which tells you probably not a really big deal. That being said, how do you guys tell what's going on? Like right now, you have me to tell you who's who, what's going on, who the younger males are, who the adults are, who the babies are. If you don't have all that though, what are some tips and tricks you can use to kind of figure out who's who? So we're going to go over some tips and tricks. You can use that for our chimps here, you can use them for chimps in the wild as well. So the 2 things we look for to tell them apart. So that's primarily our younger males. So right now, that one and that one, the ones who are doing the big displays, are 2 11-year-old males. This is not atypical, he's probably, gonna kick that door right there. They're kind of amped up. So once it calms down on the human side though, I can tell you what that was. Yeah, so like we said, males tend to be the ones who are showing off a little bit more. A lot of our younger males, like I said, these are our 2 11-year-old boys. And I can tell you that even if I didn't know that was Johari and Mshindi who were making all that. Somebody pointed out to me before the talk, which we hear all the time, which is, if you're wondering what that... Yeah, we'll give them a second to settle down. So how do we tell a boy chimpanzee from a girl chimpanzee? It's pretty simple. We look at their butt. If you notice their butt, if you notice there's pink swelling on their rear end, that's what we call tumescence. It's something you see on female chimpanzees. I like to say, if you notice their butt, it's probably a girl. If you don't notice their butt, it's probably a guy. So right now, the 2 who are just doing those big displays right now, you probably didn't notice their rear ends, which means that those are both males that were showing off. Really says a lot right there. The other thing, they have bright pink coloration, and as they get older, it darkens out to play more like some of our adults who are over here. We have a good example right for our teenage boys, though. They're right on the cusp of maturity. Right on the cusp. 11 years old is right around when they reach full adulthood. So you're noticing that in their skin color. They're not quite as bright pink as the little babies. They're not quite as dark as the adults. So those were our juvenile males who are making all that. They have more dominant individuals on top. Now, just because a chimpanzee does the dominance display, that does not mean that they are, in fact, higher ranked or shown up. Sometimes that's their way of saying, hey, I want to be more dominant. It's kind of like if you know any high school boys who will show off and like do really risky behaviors because they think it makes them look cool.
Do a backflip right now.
It does make you look cool, guys. Be cool.
Look, I'm not the one who said it.
Do a backflip.
That was not a dig at anyone in particular, but if you guys want to call someone out, that's on you. Yeah. But that's what we'll see. Same thing. We'll see a lot of our teenage boys who are the ones who are more likely to kind of show off, do those big displays and everything as well. Now we're saying things kind of settle in as well. We have our mom who's hanging out. Yeah, so again, those babies that we see right here, go and talk about the babies a little bit. They are, again, about 5 months old, just turned 5 months old. The one right in front of us is our 7.5-month-old, and we have right behind her, who you, unless you're at the very top, you might be able to see that there's 2 babies right in front of you. That's Mama Vindi. She has the one who is going to turn 7 months tomorrow. So that's who we're hanging out with today. Before anybody asks, because I can pretty much guarantee this is going to be the first question I get asked as soon as I open it up for questions. The babies do not have names yet. They're still growing up. They will get names when they get a little bit older. They just don't have them at the moment. So we refer to them by their mom's name. So we have Mama Yoshi in front of us, is the one that's a little bit closer to us, and then Mama Vindi is right behind her. And then we have Mama Zoe, it's the third mama, who is spending the day in the pet house. All our chimpanzees, like all our animals, have the choice if they want to go out on exhibit for the day or if they want to stay behind the scenes. Mama Zoe is like 50-50. Some days she feels like coming out and socializing with the big group, saying hi to people. Some days she feels like having some alone time in the back. But then she reunites with everybody in the evenings. They all hang out in one giant group. It's just up to her how social she's feeling for the day. Yeah, right now going and talking about our babies a little bit. Our babies, again, are about 5 months old, 7 months old, 7.5 months old. So anybody here, is anybody here familiar with baby milestones? No? Okay, what milestones do we reach about 6 months old?
I think so, like that.
Eating solids, yeah. And sitting up, yeah. So we're saying that same thing with our babies. One of our boys is going to do his play. Probably going to kick out the door. Yeah, once you're familiar with what's happening, you can spot it from a mile away. Yeah, so those same milestones that you just named for a 6-month-old human, the chimpanzee babies reach about 5 months old. So our older 2 are mouthing at solids at the moment, starting to slowly get weaned over the next 6 or so months, and they're starting to crawl away from mom, so we're seeing that. Our older babies, our 7-month-old is like crawling 5 or 6 feet away from mom, doing her own thing. Also spreading out, they're doing a little bit more allo-parenting. Some of the other chimpanzees are babysitting as well. So we're seeing a lot of those same milestones. Our 5-month-old baby is reaching those stages right now. So we'll probably, over the next couple of weeks, if he hasn't already, see him starting to mouth at solids, starting to crawl a little bit. All the milestones are very, very similar to humans, almost identical. They're just slightly off. For example, the gestation period, how long they're pregnant for, is 8.5 months instead of 9 months. We started seeing them mouth at solids, crawling away from mom, being a little more independent. To pick a new spot, they're kind of on the move right now. I did want to leave some time for questions. So if we have any questions, do we have questions?
So dope.
Go ahead and raise your hand right now. We'll see if we can't get those answered. We'll do 1, 2. What's up?
Okay, that one has a bunch of...
Why don't the baby chimpanzees have a name? Yeah, so it's a little bit complicated. Our chimpanzee babies, there's a couple different ways that they will get named. Sometimes they'll have a staff name, like staff members will pick a name for them. Some of them will be donor names, and then that money that is donated to name the baby will be used for animal welfare to make sure that that baby has like a happy life, basically, and looking after her. And also go to conservation projects that we're working on as well. So there's a lot. Sometimes they'll also do like social media contests where they'll have like a social media naming and stuff. So we have 5 grade 8 babies right now. So that's 5 different naming opportunities. We'll likely see a variety of methods used in terms of picking out how that happens. Yeah, again, remember, so did anybody see who did that? Yeah, again, who was drawing all that stuff. Started a lot of drama. We'll give him a second to settle down. We do have a question up here. What's up?
Is there someone who's more dominant than everybody else, and is there like a pecking order, like someone's coming up and they're fighting him for it?
Yeah. So is there a most dominant member? Yes. So the most dominant member is called the alpha for chimpanzees. Second in command is called the beta. And then everyone kind of falls in line after that. So our dominant male is Glenn, who is at the top of the waterfall right next to the mom who's up there. That's Glenn, and then his brother Shaun is the beta, the second in command. So we didn't talk a whole lot about social dynamics and whatnot, but that's kind of what's going on right now with our group. They will change alphas about every 3 to 5 years. Glenn's been alpha for I don't have an exact number, at least 6 or 7. So he's been alpha for a long time. But that's just really testament to his leadership skills. He's doing a really good job, so they're keeping him around. The red stuff. Oh, that's like a squished tomato. Yeah. So maybe it looks like it's just the skin. So if I had to guess, probably one of the chimps didn't like the skin, so they spit it out. Because they're kind of weird like that. They all have their own preferences. That's a good question. Do other chimps babysit? Yes. We actually, if you were here, related to the mom to impact them for obvious reasons. Yeah, so we did. So Pu'iwa was the dad of the oldest and the youngest.
No, I'm going to stay on this side. You guys can stay on this side.
Who is not, Pu'iwa is obviously not genetically related to the others. So. Yeah, do male and female hair patterning vary? Not really. It's more individual. It can also be genetic. For example, Ruby's babysitting a little bit earlier tends to have a little bit less hair even though she's a female, and that's not like a boy versus girl thing. That's just her family that tends to run like in that direction. Yeah, that's also one of the ways you can tell them apart based on how the hair they have. For Yoshi, our mama up here, we can tell it's her because she looks like she's wearing white pants because her legs are white and her hair is not. We'll take one last question before we wrap up. Do chimpanzees ever hurt each other? Yes, chimpanzees do tend to be a little bit more, like communicate a little bit more physically than you will see with other great apes. That being said, there's a couple things to keep in mind. One is that they heal a lot faster than humans do. The other is that they very rarely hurt each other physically, but when it does happen, they're typically going for the extremities, which communicates something. They're not trying to necessarily kill them or hurt them seriously. They're trying to communicate in a way, hey, I don't like what you're doing right now. And then, usually the day after, we see a big conflict between two individuals. If they have a big blow up, usually the next day, they'll spend almost the entire day blaming each other and making up. So it's kind of like, it's complicated. A lot of people like to see their big blow-ups and everything. And they're like, oh my god, they're fighting, they're so crazy. And then they don't stick around to say the calm afterwards while they're just hanging out, grooming each other. So it's kind of like take everything with a grain of salt, right? You wouldn't want anyone to judge you on your worst day or when you're really mad for whatever reason. So same thing for them as well. Most of the time they're just hanging out like this. And like Johari, he's the one who was doing the big displays earlier. Before the talk, he was picking other questions. I'll be hanging out for a few minutes after this talk, but I do want to be respectful of your time. If you'd like to see some of our other great ape babies, you can go down this path right here. You'll get to a orangutan and then go where I was. You can also go up this path over here. We'll take you to see some of our chimpanzees where they settled after their lunch. And then going straight up, we'll take you towards some of our big cats, such as our tiger, snow leopard, and jaguar are in this direction. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Hope you have a great rest of your day here at the Los Angeles Zoo.
So that means you're not a monkey, huh?
It's like your mommy and your daddy.
You guys said?
What do you feel like when you
Matthew.
Matthew. Go this way.
So
No.
what's your scissors? We'll take this gun one.
Have a seat. Have a seat right here.
You want to put the eye. I don't say it like that.
The birds are calling.
I got it. I got a video of it. Look it. Up the roof.